Greetings, everybody. It is Monday, May 25th, 2020, Memorial Day here in the United States. B-17 Flying Fortress, serial number 4231670, was delivered to the U.S. Army Air Force at Cheyenne on 3 December 1943. It passed through several other Army facilities before arriving at Presque Isle Army Airfield on 23 December 1943. From this airfield in far northeastern Maine, it left like so many of its B-17 and B-24 brethren, crossed the cold North Atlantic to the United Kingdom. This particular B-17 proceeded to Turley, where on January 14, 1944, it was assigned to the 367th Bomber Squadron, 306th Bomb Group, the Reichswreckers, 8th Army Air Force. It was shot down by fighters and crashed near Siegen, Germany, on a mission to the Ju-88 plant at Bernburg. Declared missing in action, Oschersleben, 22 February 1944. World War II buffs might recognize that date as right in the middle of Big Week. B-17G 4231670 had no known nickname or nose art. She was just one of the many soldiers who fought and died to free Europe from Nazi Germany. Her crew at the time she was shot down were pilot Lieutenant Fred Rector, co-pilot Lieutenant Pat Pierce, flight engineer and top turret gunner Technical Sergeant Elmer Weibel, radio operator Technical Sergeant Warren Russell, left waist gunner Staff Sergeant John Elliott, and right waist gunner Staff Sergeant Ray Firmuga. They were all taken prisoner of war. Her navigator, Lieutenant Herbert Edelstein, bombardier First Lieutenant John Caldwell, ball turret gunner Sergeant Earl Shade, and tail gunner Staff Sergeant Billy Bell were killed in action. Her missing aircrew report, number 2654, reads, "Sustained fighter attacks caused severe damage, crashed near Nieder-Reiferath near Herrschen, 18 miles west of Siegen, Germany." Those are the facts as documented by the American Air Museum in Britain. This site contains a database compiling the records of 22,656 aircraft and 234,184 people. What the records of the American Air Museum won't tell you is that the plane was so badly shot up by repeated passes of German fighters that Lieutenant Rector, her pilot and commander, gave the order to bail out. When he and co-pilot Lieutenant Pierce took their hands off the controls, the plane began to roll, making it impossible to bail out. She was so badly damaged that the rudimentary autopilot couldn't keep her wings level. Lieutenant Edelstein initially entered Army flight training to be a pilot. Having washed out of pilot training due to trouble keeping the wings level during landings, he was reassigned to navigator training. Herbert Edelstein, as his last name might imply, was Jewish, and reluctant to bail out over Nazi-controlled Germany. He volunteered to stay on board and keep the ship level while everyone else got out. He would then attempt to make it to France, where hopefully he could land or crash land the plane, or bail out, and his chances of survival once he got to the ground was much greater. As the last man got out, the ship exploded. We know this today because Fred Rector wrote a letter after the war to Lieutenant Edelstein's son. Lieutenant Edelstein's son was less than a month old when 4231670 was delivered to the Army at Cheyenne, a month and a half old when the plane crossed over the pond to England. Lieutenant Edelstein was already in England when the plane arrived. At the time he was shot down, Fred Rector was piloting his 11th combat mission. Lieutenant Edelstein was navigating his 49th. For those familiar with the 8th Air Force and the air war over Europe, a bomber crew member had to survive 25 missions before being sent home, a feat considered statistically impossible at the height of the air war due to the rate of losses. Lieutenant Edelstein was just about to complete a second tour. Being Jewish, he had a vested interest in ending Nazi control of Europe. The letter Fred Rector sent to Herb Edelstein's son told him that Herb's actions saved the lives of the rest of the crew. According to the records of the Museum of the Mighty Eighth Air Force, from which the American Air Museum in Britain derives its database, 3 other men died on board 42-31670, along with Lieutenant Edelstein. I raise this bottle for John Caldwell, Earl Shade, Billy Bell, and my grandfather, Herbert Edelstein, not yet 22 years old when he was killed in action. I turned 49 last week. I'd be an old man to my grandfather. Happily, my father, who received that letter from Fred Rector, is still with us at 76 and still going strong. He has his own military history, but that's for another time. Rest in power, Herb, John, Earl, and Billy. Rest easy, knowing the job got done. We'll try to make sure the effort wasn't in vain. Okay, that out of the way, it's time to pick some locks. I posted on the Facebook lock picking forum the other day that I opened all 6 of these American 1205s. It's time to get it on camera. I would have liked to have entered, I can't remember his name, something or other Fox 100th subscriber giveaway, but that requires that I hold the lock in my first and second finger and thumb only and can't touch it with anything else, and I'm not capable of opening these locks. Got it upside down. Not capable of opening these locks while holding it this way. Unfortunately, I have to, because this is a top of keyway lock. I mean, maybe that would qualify, although he says you have to be holding it in the less than the second knuckle. I'll give it a try. I don't know how well it'll work, because I normally hold it like that in order to get enough grip to be able to put enough tension on it. You'll also notice I've got a different camera position. I've said before I had trouble doing this picking in such a way that the camera could actually see anything, so I'm actually trying it with the camera between me and the lock. I don't know how well that'll work. This is also a new-to-me camera, a gift from my sister-in-law, who got an upgrade. This is a GoPro Hero 5 Session, something like that. So it's much smaller, so hopefully this will work better to reach around. It seems to be. Let me see if I can open this following the rules of that entry. These are American 1205s, which in theory have the same core as the 1105s. If you followed my channel, then you know that I've got 3 older 1105s that I can open, and 2 that I can't. And the 3 that I can open are some refurbs I bought off eBay, and the 2 that I can't are brand new retail packaged, which these I also bought on eBay, but they're allegedly brand new and retail packaged. They certainly came in the original boxes. And when I did these the other day, not having to hold it like this, and I just realized I was cheating, I had my pinky on the shackle there. It took me about 2 minutes each, so let's see what we can do today. I really don't have a lot of confidence I can do it holding it this way. The thing I found most difficult about these, like a lot of other American locks, is the whole... I think I might have just about got it. I think I got 1 pin left to... is the whole spring tension on the core. Trying not to advance my fingers past the knuckle that isn't allowed. These aren't quite as bad as those Trimaxes that I did the other day that I really couldn't tell when they were picked because of the spring tension. It's just trying to tension it this way. I'm having trouble putting enough tension to feel it. Oh, I do have it picked. Ah, I did it! Okay. that was tough. So I'm not going to try and meet the requirements for the other 5 locks. I'll pick them normally. And I forgot to actually turn the core back to the locked position on this one. Uh-oh. That doesn't seem to want to... Okay, good. That one was overturned. Alright, this one I'll hold in my more normal position. Someone else commented that they're surprised that I was able to pick... I think the comment was on either a photo or the video I did of the Master 410, that when I used this pick on that one, that they were surprised that I was able to do it with this reach pick. It's weird, I don't know why. This is probably my most successful pick to use. I know this is really meant for special cases where you gotta really get in way to the back of the lock and reach around stuff, but I don't know, this one just, it works well for me. When I did these the other day, I'd been so reluctant to even try these locks because of all the trouble I had with those 1105s that I can't open, that I figured it was just, okay, I could open those worn out, used 1105s that I bought, but I can't open new American locks. So I held on to these for months, never even took them out of their boxes, and didn't even try them. Well, just the other day, I was just sitting there bored of picking the same locks over and over and staring at these and going, you know I can't open them, but let me give them a try anyway, and then shocked the hell out of myself when I opened all of them within about 2 minutes each. Obviously, it's taking me a little bit longer on camera. I know when I'm not on camera and picking locks, I sit slightly differently. Actually, now that I think about it, this is how I normally hold them. So maybe that's a better view. I'm hoping this camera isn't too close and that it's auto-focusing properly. Being a GoPro session, I don't have a display that tells me if this is even in focus. It's just one of those tiny little cubes. Alright, let me switch to one of my other picks. This is my just standard hook or medium hook, whatever, from the Sparrows kit. Sorry about that. For some reason, Facebook has decided every time someone sends me a message, it has to ding twice. Plus, I've got a computer next to me that's also dinging. Alright, I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm going to come back to that one. And also, sure you guys didn't want to continue listening to me sniffle at you. And just to show, these are locked up when I have to turn the core like that. I just forgot to turn the core back into the locked position before closing the shackle and putting these away. One drawback I find to this particular reach pick is getting the pins way at the front of the lock, reaching around my top of keyway tensioner. It tends to try and push the tensioner out of the lock. Used to have a lot of trouble with that. I gotta remember to pick off the shelf here instead of trying to pick off the bottom, because then I can get the angle right. There it goes, trying to push the tensioner out. Let's try the, I forget what this one is called. This is out of, well, it's actually not out of the Ridgeback set. It's an Andrew Law pick, and I keep it in my Ridgeback set, but this is actually one of the ones that I bought at the same time, but as an extra. It's another Tapine hook. I just can't remember what this one's called. It's going to be ironic if the only one of these I can get open is the one that I picked in my non-standard grip. Alright, I'll come back to that one if I have time. Got plenty more to go. Locked up. Get the core in the right position. Maybe I just need to learn to film these in the same sitting position as when I'm just picking off camera. Sometimes I do have to pick from the bottom instead of off that shelf. Sometimes it wants to bind when I do that. Of course, it helps if my tensioner isn't getting in my way. If I'm breathing right into the mic or anything like that, I do apologize. Like I said, this is my first time attempting to use this camera. Not even sure where on the camera the mic is. Oh, for that matter, there we go. Hell, for that matter, I'm not even sure I've got the camera right side up because it doesn't really have anything to indicate which way up it goes. It actually looks like it's on its side to me, according to the labeling, but what little I got out of its documentation showed it this way up. Hopefully, if this is wrong, I can get my editing software to rotate it. We shall see. Go back to the sparrows. It just feels like I'm holding this thing so close to the camera that there's no way it can focus, but kind of hard to hold it much further than that. That's 3. Don't know why it's giving me. There we go. Alright, just for fun, let me try this one more time. I think it was Jack Fox was his name. I'll have to look it up before I post this video. Let me try it his way one more time. This does definitely add a degree of difficulty. Those of you who are actually paying attention, I posted just a post in the community section of my channel the other day, though I didn't make a video yet. I just passed 200 subscribers, and so I'm going to have a giveaway myself soon. And at the rate I'm going, it'll probably end up being my 300 subscriber giveaway instead of 200. I believe earlier today when I looked, I was at 204. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do for a contest, though I do know what, I think I know what the prizes are going to be. I'm going to order some pack locks with a logo etched into them. I'm going to try to anyway. I was going to do that several days ago, and just due to various reasons, I keep forgetting to actually click to execute that purchase. But what I might do is actually send out some of these locks right here. I owe at least a couple of them to a gentleman in the UK that sent me some Euro cylinders that I still haven't sent anything back to him for that. I told him I'd send him some American 1100s, but I think I might make it a couple of these 1200s, which, as far as picking is concerned, is the same thing. They're all the same core. There, that was another one that I think I had it picked a minute or two ago and just hadn't rotated the core far enough. So that was two of them I got done via that advanced holding technique. Let me see if I can do it on this one. No, anyway, sorry to say, the 1100s and the 1200s, as far as I know anyway, are the exact same cores. The only difference is the width of the lock. The 1100s are a 40 millimeter equivalent, and these are a 50 millimeter equivalent. But that, so far as I know, and my research has shown, is the only difference between them. What I don't know is why those older 1100s that I have I can pick, and the new ones I can't. And these, which, as far as I know, are newer, I can actually pick more easily than my older 1100s. What I think I'll do is, at the end of this video, I will do a gutting of one of these and see how worn out the pins are and how if the serrations have gotten all worn out or something. Now, I say that because when I did get my older 1100s, I found that the serrations did appear to be almost worn smooth. Whereas when I gutted one of the newer ones that I can't pick, it had, of course, brand new pins. Okay, I'm going to give up on holding it this way. Had brand new pins, and the serrations were much sharper. That said, I've got this repinning kit right here that I bought at the same time that I bought those new 1100s. And at least one of the older ones that I could pick easily, I completely repinned it with brand new pins. Same bitting, but new pins. And it made absolutely no difference whatsoever to my ability to pick it. Which could just mean that the core itself, both the plug and the Bible, one or the other or both, and I did put new springs in as well, by the way, but that could mean that the core is worn out, and even though the pins have sharp serrations on them, the core and the Bible at the shear line are just too worn to really catch them properly. I suppose what I could do is gut one of the new ones that I can't pick and key it with the bitting of one of the old ones with the exact, with the pins that I've got here, repin it to the key to match the key of one of the old ones and see what difference that makes in picking it. What I'd really like to do is get this one opened up. Hopefully soon enough that I can get this video edited and online before midnight while it's still Memorial Day. Especially since my wife is waiting for me to finish up shooting and editing this video so that I will come downstairs and watch some TV or some YouTube with her. She likes watching YouTube with me. Not so much, I think, because she's really that interested in the YouTube channels that I watch, which are admittedly a lot of Locksport and so on, but because that's just a way of us to spend time together. I'm just not having a lot of luck on this one tonight. Right. Maybe I'll come back to that one, maybe not. I don't know how long this camera will record either. I'm already at, oh gosh, almost an hour. Excuse me, almost half an hour. I just hit 29 minutes, so I don't think anybody really wants to watch a half an hour of this. I'd be very surprised if anybody does sit through all of it. Alright, I'm going to call it at that. I do know that I can pick these two. They're just not working for me tonight, but that's 4 that I successfully opened. 2 of which using the, or was it only 1, the advanced picking method that matches. I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. I subscribed to you the other day when someone else put up a video entering your challenge, and I subscribed to you, but I don't remember your name off the top of my head. But I'll put all the right headers in the video to enter your challenge. Anyway, that's exactly 30 minutes. Good night, everybody. And happy Memorial Day. Thank you to everyone who gave all for our freedoms.